was so pleased with my work that they are ordering in advance all my books that will be published in the future. On this occasion, therefore, I request my disciples who are determined to help me in this work to continue their cooperation fully, so that philosophers, scholars, religionists, and people in general all over the world will benefit by reading of transcendental literatures such as Srimad Bhagavatam and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatho Jaya Mudhiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 8 and Text 16. Tasyam sa cha ambaha ruhakarnikayam avastitaha lokam apashyamanaha parikramaha Yomni Vivrutta Netraha Cha Chatvari Lebhe Anudisham Mukhani Tasyam Sachambo Ruhakarnikayam Avastito Lokam Apashyamanaha Parikraman Yomni Vivrutta Netra Chatvari lebhe nudisham mukhani. Avastito lokam apasyamanam. Tasyam, in that, cha and ambaha, water, ruhakarnikayam, bowl of the lotus, avastitaha, being situated, lokam, the world, apashyamanaha, without being able to see, parikraman, circumambulating, omni, in space, vivrutta netraha, while moving the eyes, chatvari, 4, lebe, achieve, anudisham, in terms of direction, mukhani, heads. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Brahma, born out of the lotus flower, could not see the world, although he was situated in the wall. He therefore circumambulated all of the space, and while moving his eyes in all directions, he achieved 4 heads in terms of the 4 directions. Please repeat. Brahma, born out of the lotus flower, could not see the world, although he was situated in the wall. He therefore circumambulated all of space, and while moving his eyes in all directions, he achieved 4 heads in terms of the 4 directions. Next 2 shlokas, I will read it by myself. Tasmad yughanta svashanava ghurna jalormi chakrat salilad virudham upashrita kanjam yu lokatattvam natmanam adhavidad adidevaha. Lord Brahma, situated in that lotus, could not perfectly understand the creation, the lotus or himself. At the end of the millennium, the air of devastation began to move the water and the lotus in great circular waves. Purport. Lord Brahma was perplexed about his creation, the lotus and the world, even though he tried to understand them for 1 millennium, which is beyond calculation in the solar years of human beings. No one therefore can know the mystery of the creation and cosmic manifestation simply by mental speculation. The human being is so limited in his capacity that without the help of the Supreme, he can hardly understand the mystery of the will of the Lord in terms of creation, continuance and destruction. Next one. Ka esha yosav aham abjaprushta etad kuto vabjam ananyadapsu asti hi adastadiha kinchanaita adhishtitam yatra satanu bhavyam. Translation. Lord Brahma, in his ignorance, contemplated, why am I that I am situated on the top of this lotus? Wherefrom has it sprouted? There must be something downwards, and that from which this lotus has grown must be within the vata. Purport. The subject matter of the speculations of Brahma in the beginning regarding the creation of the cosmic manifestation is still a subject matter for mental speculators. The most intelligent man is he who tries to find the cause of his personal existence and that of the whole cosmic creation, and thus tries to find the ultimate cause. If his attempt is properly executed with penances and perseverance, it is sure to be crowned with success. The Sansta Bhaktivedanta Purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Dhananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Sesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Brahmaji's psychology, his thinking, his meditation and his actions are described in these 3 verses. We know Brahma born out of the lotus flower, and then the first thing is lokam apashyamanaha. He could not see the totality of the world around him. Lokam apashyamanaha. Then what did he do? He exercised his senses to investigate what is there around him. So parikraman vyomni vivruttanetra. So then he started circumambulating the entire space. and he is moving the eyes here and there, trying to see what is there. Then Chatvari Lebhe, in that process, he got 4 heads in terms of the 4 directions. This is how the Brahma, he gained 4 heads to oversee the 4 directions. In the pastimes of Krishna, we have seen that this Brahma, yes, he is Adi Devaha, is the original demigod in this universe, having 4 heads, but he is not the only Brahma, or he is not the personality having so many heads. So in the Dwaraka pastimes we have seen how Krishna shows to this Brahma, Chatvari Lebhe Anudisham Mukhani, the 4-headed Brahma, he proves to him that there are so many Brahmas are there. There are so many universes are there. And in fact, our universe is the smallest, having only 4 directions. But there are universes much complex, multidimensional, that there are Brahmas having hundreds and thousands of heads. So a personality having so many heads may be inconceivable for us, but the existence is not limited by our limited senses, our investigation. So the first thing that Brahma did was he started investigating what is there around him. And then how did he trying to understand the world around him? By exercising his own senses, trying to see here, there, here, there. In that process he got 4 heads, that's fine, to facilitate his seeing in 4 directions. But then still tasmat yuganta swashananuva ghurna. He continued to investigate like that, and suddenly he saw that the devastating air began to move the water and the lotus in great circular waves. Now when is this air coming from, and when is that? It is at the end of the millennium. At 1 millennium he has been searching and searching and searching, trying to understand what's around him and what is the cause for his existence or cause for the world. He is continuously searching. 1 millennium has passed by, and again one devastating air started shaking his lotus. So Jalormi Chakrat, it is moving the water, Salila Virudham Upashrita Kanjam Lokatattvam. You means, here Prabhupada explains, in great astonishment, he could not understand Lokatattvam, anything about the Loka. There is a Tattva connected to everything. There is a Loka Tattva, Jiva Tattva, Vishnu Tattva, Shakti Tattva. There are so many Tattvas are there. So unless we understand all these Tattvas, we will not be able to understand the Supreme Absolute Truth. Tattva Vidaha means one who understands the Absolute Truth in all its aspects, 3 aspects. Impersonal, then localized, and then personal Bhagavan features. So the point is, Lord is not alone. There are so many tattvas serving him. They are all personalities. And so here the Loka Tattva. Tattva means what is the truth? What is the truth behind this world? So here perfectly Avida, he could not understand. He understood some things. For example, if you go around the city, go on seeing with your eyes, some things you will understand. But you could not understand perfectly Adidevaha, although he is the most powerful, the first demigod in this universe. So the first demigod, who is the most powerful, investigated and trying to understand this world for 1 millennium, could not understand about the Loka Tattva. This is the situation. Now the tiny jivas, the jiva tattva, in the dress of scientists, in the dress of great scientists who are created by Brahma. Radha Govind. That Adideva has created all these scientists. Created means gave the bodies. Soul cannot be created. Soul has been injected by Mahavishnu. So Brahma created these bodies and they have assumed the role that I am a scientist. And what are they doing? They are also searching what is the cause for all. Actually, any intelligent man, he would like to understand his current situation. Okay, what is happening? Who am I? What is this body? What is this world around me? Trying to understand the cause of his existence in this world is a sign of intelligence. So that intelligence is there in the scientists. They're very inquisitive. They want to understand. And they are having maximum of 100 years. Maximum of 100 years. And they want to understand this Loka Tattvam. So you can see how foolish that within their limited existence, they want to understand the vast material creation that we see all around us. Here on one side we are seeing Brahma himself could not understand, with 4 heads, with 1 millennium of lifespan, he could not understand. So this is the problem with this method of acquisition of knowledge. What is that method? Going by what we see or what we experience by our senses. This is the problem. Living entity has so much faith on his senses, and what the senses perceive or see, it is so strong, he is so so much belief in that he thinks that is the only knowledge that is possible. So scientists are obviously everything they want to see and experience by their senses. Either they have to personally see, they have to personally hear, they have to personally smell, they have to personally taste, personally touch, then only they consider that as knowledge. So this greatest faith on this process of, this is called ascending process or speculative process. So having so much faith of his own experience, he goes on investigating the world around him, and next what he will do? He will theorize. He will theorize this theory, that theory. And then those theories will carry his name, and that is his pleasure. Newton's theory, Pascal theory, Boyle's theory. So many theories are there. And that is the pleasure. His name is there. And then there will be big educational institutions propagating these theories, teaching millions and millions of next generations that this is how it is, this is how the world is, this is how we came, this is how we are. In our childhood, and I think even now, they are told how we all came from, how this world came from, and what all kinds of theories we have read. For example, gravitation. That is also partial understanding. Partial understanding. You gave a name, that's all. There is something which is holding these planets, holding all this matter in a certain shape, a certain format. You call it as gravitation. But actually what is holding all these planets and universes is, as Shastra explains, it is the power of Sankarshan. Ananta is holding all these planets together. So instead of saying Ananta's power, he is saying Newton's laws. Hmm. They are holding as if he has created those laws. The laws are already existing. It is already there. Just that Newton has discovered it. The scientists, maximum what they can do is they can discover that okay, there is some force, there is some law, there is something is there. They can only discover. Otherwise, they cannot understand. Now they are realizing that okay, Newton laws are not applicable when you go to atomic level. They are not applicable when you go to planet level. They are not working. So what happened to your laws? So this process of believing our personal experiences and is a very dangerous process. It increases the limitations. It only makes people more atheistic. People think that matter itself is the cause of all that we are seeing. Because everywhere he sees only matter, matter, matter. And he experiences only matter. And then he thinks this is the only cause. So it is a very striking thing that such exalted personality like Brahma, he could not understand how this creation came about by exercising his mind and senses. By his mental speculation, he could not figure out. So that's why Prabhupada is writing here, the human being is so limited in his capacity that without the help of the Supreme, he can hardly understand the mystery of the will of the Lord in terms of creation, continuance and destruction. Actually, if you, as of today, if you type how the universe came or how this whole creation has happened, hundreds and thousands of theories. There is a primordial soup, which is the cause. There is one Big Bang, that is the cause. And somebody is saying it is not actually Big Bang. He got a 2020 physics Nobel Prize, and he's saying actually Big Bang is not the cause of this universe. Then what is the cause, sir? He's saying there was already one universe is existing, and when that universe collapsed, it gave rise to birth of our universe. So this is what it is. And how that universe came about, similarly there was one universe before that, and then when that is collapsing, then this has come. This is what is, this is 2020, latest means 2 years old. By now they would have revised some more times. So, and some more people are saying no, it's not Big Bang, it is actually black holes which are responsible for the creation. Like that, innumerable theories. Everybody wants to give his own theory of how the world and the universe came. And when we give our theory, they'll say, no, this is all mythology. But that fellow is just like that, gave one theory, and everybody said, wow, very nice. Very nice. Not even philosophy, very nice speculation. But then he has been glorified with Nobel Prizes and this and that. This is the current situation. So very pathetic. And then we are forced to read all such models. We are forced to understand all such theories. What happens? Why they get so much confidence? Because they are able to explain some concepts. How some helium came, how some Doppler effect, and how this effect, that effect. They are able to explain some effects. So they get lot of confidence. Yes, actually this is the direction. Okay, as of today we have not finalized it. May not be perfect. In the next few years we are going to revise and refine and remodel it in such a way that we are going to get all the answer. Maya gives that hope. Step by step. Like an ass carrying a big load. And then the washerman, how it takes the ass forward. He sits on the top of the ass and puts a stick, and the stick has got one carrot. Ass is thinking, if I move one step forward I am through, I'll reach the destination and I'll get the carrot. But actually ass doesn't know, when it moves one step forward, carrot also goes one step forward. So scientists also, they're thinking, okay, now we're all carrying big burdens of these theories. This model, this theory, that theory, so much they're carrying, like ass. And they're seeing one carrot, okay, tomorrow I'm going to finalize this theory. This is the situation. Unless they understand that the original source is a conscious being, they will have no idea of this creation. Unless they accept that the source of creation cannot be part of creation. The source of creation is outside the creation. They can never understand. By studying inside the creation, they cannot understand the cause which is outside the creation. They cannot. So there is no explanation for consciousness. There is no explanation for the original source who is outside this creation. How can you understand the Creator by analyzing His creation unless you are guided? It is possible, but we should be guided. So that's why 1 millennium is passed by. Brahmaji is not able to understand Lokatattvam. Lokatattvam means astonishing. It is avidhat. He still remained in ignorance. And then so Brahmaji is contemplating, who am I that I am situated on top of this lotus? He is able to recognize that he is situated on a lotus. That much he has understood. The study, what he has done. So he is asking, who am I? So the real education begins when somebody from the heart, from deep inside the heart, he asks this question, who am I? And then where from this lotus has sprouted? Obviously, moment you see this is a lotus, where it is sprouted from. And then he says there must be something downwards, and then from which this lotus has grown must be within the water. There must be some water. So again, Anumana is theorizing. There must be some water, there must be some origin, all those things. So Prabhupada is saying the subject matter of the speculations of Brahma in the beginning regarding the creation is still a subject matter for mental speculators. So all the mental speculators, this is the same contemplation. Okay, there must be something, but they have no idea. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says this kind of a education is called avidya. Avidya means it is simply Mayar Vaibhav. It is a Vaibhava. It's a potency, it's a power of Maya, illusory potency, that one becomes more and more interested and attracted towards such theories. He will not be able to understand the Vedic version that there is a Supreme Personality of Godhead who is behind this creation, behind these universes. It is impossible for them to come to that conclusion because they are attracted by these atheistic theories. So whenever this Big Bang theory was presented to Prabhupada, Big Bang theory means, see, all these things you should know. What is this theory? They say there is one, a big chunk is there in the space. They gave some name. It's in a, what is the singularity? And all those words we have to nicely learn. Prabhupada says how to preach to the scientists. He says you should first of all learn their words. What is the jugglery that they are using, that you have to learn. And using those words only, you should beat them and defeat them. It's like you take the stone from them and break their teeth. Similarly, this singularity or some zero something and void is, they won't say void, but they're actually referring to a void. According to Big Bang theory, it came from a chunk. There is one more theory which came from some matter, and ultimately the matter came from void. From zero, from void, such wonderful manifestation has come about. This is their theory. To justify their theory, they give so many names like this. I told you, primordial soup. There is a soup which has created all these things. So, intelligent devotees, they should first of all understand where, the kind of language that he is using, and then carefully understand the ignorance that is there in him. Once we had a program in the IIT campus. We had a program, and in the end, one boy is discussing. They are discussing about all this. He actually very intelligent. He is quoting all the numbers and figures. How many years it took for that Big Bang to become first planet, first universe. How many varieties have come on this and that and all that. But we have a Brahmastra given by Prabhupada. How to defeat this Big Bang theory. So they say the chunk is there and suddenly it exploded. And then after explosion, all the universes came about. So Prabhupada says, very simple question which they don't think actually. He says, where is that chunk came from? As soon as Prabhupada asks this question, the scientists are stuck. It looks so simple to us, but for the scientists it is a very big question. Where is this chunk coming from? So, if you see the scientists, they will be analyzing the phenomena somewhere in the middle. They look at apple falling, then they look at some laws. They actually analyze the phenomena in the middle. But if you push them towards the origin, how this came, they'll fail. You can defeat any scientist, provided you are not carried away by their terminology, primordial soup and goof up and all those things. If you don't get carried away by all those and then go on pushing them towards the source, they'll fail. All these theories will fail. They'll be stuck. They have no answer. How did the chunk came? A very simple question. Prabhupada smashed one entire Big Bang theory with one question. Okay, even if you think that there's some chunk is there, it must be in equilibrium, balance. How it can explode? That means explosion has to be done by some outside source. What is that source? Let us say there is, some chair is there. Tuck, it breaks. What is our next question? How did the chair break? Because we don't expect that the chair is very stable. It's in balance. Suddenly it breaks, let us say. Then you will see what is that? What is the cause? What is that force? Is there a bomb? Is there anything? We will be immediately investigating, right? For example, long ago, near the Dilsukh Nagar Sai Baba temple, there was a big explosion. Explosion happened and many people died, and cycles and vehicles, everything is this thing. Police people have registered a case to investigate. They have not closed the case, saying that according to Big Bang theory, this is all okay. There is one more bang here. I am just closing the case. He has not done that. He said, what is the cause? Now, who planted this bomb? How this explosion came about? So, even if you think that there is an explosion, okay, who caused this explosion? In this world, we don't see Big Bang in action. Otherwise, no police can register any case against any terrorist. Nobody. All are small banks. The banks are meant for creation. Big Bang has created big creation. Small bangs are created. So all the terrorists are creators. You can go on exploding everywhere and create. Does anybody says like this? Common sense it is. Nobody follows this law or philosophy or so-called scientific theory in practice. You don't see this. And nor it is practical. So, Prabhupada has blasted by very simple arguments, with simple common sense. He gives one more argument again, Big Bang, very interesting. He says, let us say this temple we are planning to construct. Now one more temple is coming up there, big temple we are planning to construct. So what should we do to construct the temple? We are all struggling very hard to raise funds, make plans and all those things, right, to construct. But actually, according to Big Bang theory, you don't have to do all that. Take all the ingredients, bricks, cement and this and that you keep, and one big bang you create. Temple comes up. Why all this headache? Nobody does. Such an impractical, silly theory is Big Bang that one can, whenever somebody is depressed, you can contemplate on Big Bang and go on smiling. You will come out of the depression. Such silly scientists, they don't even have any common sense. This is the scenario. So we are seeing here Brahma, the original person within the universe. He tried contemplating, speculating, trying to understand with much more powerful senses and capacity, but still he failed to understand Loka Tattva, the creation. Loka Tattva can be understood only when they surrender to a pure devotee. Only when somebody comes in touch with a pure devotee, he can understand the Loka Tattva in truth or in reality. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Generally, because we are discussing about science and exploration, so people may also ask that what is the guarantee that this conversation between Krishna and Arjuna has happened in Kurukshetra?
Yeah.
It can be a conversation that any author can create, like we have so many novels.
Yeah.
Except the first sloka Kurukshetra, it's the only proof, as per my understanding, that is the only proof that Kurukshetra is existing and conversation has happened. So without this sloka, how can we explain that this has really happened in Kurukshetra and it's not a created conversation like so many cinematic novels or any other stories? So how can you tell outside people this is actually given by Krishna?
In Bhagavad Gita, whether it is the actual conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, and the only thing that appears to be real is that Kurukshetra. No, there are many statements of Krishna, at least for the beginners, it's easy to understand that they are real. Like he says, all the living entities, they subsist on grains, food. Annad bhavanti bhutani. Now it doesn't require any big philosophies to understand. Yes, everybody is living on, subsisting on food, grains. So like that, Bhagavad Gita has many statements which can be practically applicable to common people. They can understand. But then the point what he is asking is, how can we believe that this is really given by Krishna? There is Krishna has given to Arjuna. So in the class I was explaining, they give so much emphasis to acquire the knowledge in an ascending process. They think this is the process which will make me perfect in knowledge. Why? Because I can see, I can perceive, I can experience. So whatever is experienceable by the senses, that becomes his pramana. That becomes that is his faith, that is his belief. But we all know our senses have limitations, and the kind of knowledge that these senses can give is also limited. Prabhupada gives one simple example. Let us say you see the sun. Every day we are seeing the sun. What is our understanding of the sun? By looking at with our eyes. What is our? We think the sun will be like a thali. Thali means our plate. We eat in everyday food, that much size. So our understanding of sun is that it is like that one thali, and then it looks little hot or whatever, and then the heat and light is coming from the sun. That you can see because some diffusion we can see from a distance also. So now, how far this is true? We have acquired a knowledge now about sun. Now how far this is true? Which actually it is not at all factual. Not at all factual. The sun is many more times bigger than earthly planet. Bigger than earthly planet, many more times. But our eyes deceives, and we see only like a small plate, a small thought. So that proves that there must be some other mechanism to understand, must be some other mechanism to get some knowledge. That mechanism is called descending process, wherein the knowledge comes from God Himself. And God has ensured that the human society receives this knowledge through His own mechanism called parampara. He ensured that knowledge descends to our level by impeccable personalities called acharyas, who do not commit any mistakes. So Krishna has a system of sending personalities who are so loyal to Him, who repeat the knowledge as it is, who are extremely loyal to Him, in love with Him. Such personalities come in this chain. It's like a college. He has established some 4 colleges. You will see Professor Acharya after Acharya, they come in each parampara, and then they disseminate the knowledge about what is this world, who am I, who is God. All these things are revealed. So now you may say, now how can I believe? Our question is, how can I believe you? Who are you? You are a loafer. Why should I believe you? I better believe a personality whose life is dedicated to God, whose life is dedicated to serving the humanity. I would like to believe him. Why should I believe your theory? So in case they say, no, why should we believe your theory? Yes, we will, okay, why should we believe your theory? Everybody has their own theories, and then, so will that, is that a common sense? Everybody has their own theories? No. So that's why one has to see that there must be a different source of knowledge. It's a requirement. Otherwise we will not be able to. We will see, we have seen in these 3 verses, just by exercising his senses, such powerful personalities are unable to understand. But Prabhupada says in the end, by austerities and perseverance, one can come to an auspicious path of understanding all this. So people who are really desperate to understand this world, who are willing to take some austerities, they can approach, they will be given a chance to approach a personality like Prabhupada, from whom they can understand the Loka Tattva and other Tattvas. Now secondly, after you understand, come in touch with such an Acharya and practice all the regulations that the Acharya gives, then slowly you will see the truth of what is being told to us. Gradually, step by step, you realize, yes, these are all accurate. they're all very true. And then you start experiencing statement after statement. Yes, there is some, it all makes sense. In spirituality also there is so much of senses, so much of logic is there. Then you will start seeing that your logic is being used for spiritual knowledge. Highly logical. That's why Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author says that one should exercise the logic and reasoning and etc. to understand the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Everywhere logic and reasoning can be used, but how to use it has to be understood. So that's why if they challenge our theories, we challenge their theories. They have nothing to prove. That's all. If you don't want to, don't come. But we will not believe your theories. Atheistic theories have not helped the humanity. In the last 100 and 200 years of experimentation in the name of science and advancement, what did the humanity left with? Broken hearts, broken lives, and for little food and shelter, they have to work like asses. Is this called civilization? We don't want to believe your theories of advancement. So that's why it is not easy to get belief unless one padarajobhishekam, one takes the dust at the lotus feet of a spiritual master and does abhisheka, padaraja. We have to drench ourselves with this padaraja, and then only we will get little faith. Otherwise it is not possible. Maya will mislead them. So the point is, one should understand the limitations of his own theorizing, his own exercise of senses, trying to understand things around him. He should first realize the source of knowledge is available, which has been kept intact, carefully protected for millions of years. So let me learn. For example, sun, to understand the sun. Now what is the Vedic, Bhagavad Gita is talking about sun. Bhagavad Gita says, Krishna says, I went and spoke to the sun god. Now this is like a big bomb on the scientists. First of all, they are thinking it is like a plate. Now Krishna is saying, I went and spoke to sun god inside the sun planet. Inside the sun planet, is there a life? Not only life, he is such an exalted personality, he could see Krishna face to face, and then he learnt the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita personally from Krishna. What an exalted personality the sun god must be. This is what Shastra is. Now the current scientists are saying, is there a life or they are trying to go to Moon, Mars and all that. They are saying there is water visible, so there must be some life. Slowly okay, so if they don't believe in God, they can...
Hare Krishna Golden Temple వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణవాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 913310